Autumn, great start. Great start. Very, very nice. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. Okay, so typographically, I think this is really, really nice hierarchy. Excellent job. 3 steps in hierarchy. Fantastic. Great job mixing, throwing that serif in there for variety, and that was a good choice right there. In terms of proximity, I think Triumph Bonneville could be a little bit closer to this. Not much. I mean, just a couple of pixels closer to the body copy. Right now, it's kind of almost. I know it's not equidistant, but it almost looks like it's equidistance between the two. And so let's just bring it down so there's no question that it's closer to the body copy than it is the headline. I would left align that right there. Okay. Now, in terms of alignment and grid, I think that you've got some good alignment here. As I said, though, let's left align that right there. Typographically, there's an issue, and the issue that I'm seeing is pointing to inconsistency, and that's based on the fact that the first paragraph is justified, while the second paragraph is left aligned rag right. I recommend left aligning both paragraphs. All right, that's going to cause you to have to adjust your rags. Now, see this rag right here? This is let's start with the top paragraph. The top paragraph, justified type, is always going to be a problem. It can't come out default. You always end up having to adjust justified type to accommodate for spaces like this. So we always have unusual spaces in justified type. And always expect to do some adjustments with justified type. The rags on the lower paragraph are really inconsistent. So in other words, you've got short, way longer, then way shorter, then longer again, and then shorter. Okay, so the rags are going like this. Way in, way out, then way in, then way out, then way in. As opposed to, as our book described, long line, short line, long line, short line, but not, I mean, you do have long line, you have short line, long line, short line, long line, short line, but there's too much variation between. If you can, what I would recommend is adding this word it to the next line below. And that'll push my over a little bit, and that's going to fix your rag here. The biggest problem in the rag here, this is fine, it's that indent right there. Okay, so adjust those rags accordingly, and also you'll pay attention to your rags when you change this first paragraph to left align. Okay, as far as the images go, I think the image use is good. I do. I think that you've done a good job with the images. One thing I'm seeing, though, is with the images is alignment. So we have this image here, then this image here, and then going back here. So I would like to see these more in alignment, which means that you're going to have to reduce the size of these images a little bit. So you've got, watch my cursor, you've got the motor, then the front of the bike, and then the components. Try to add little captions there. And I would recommend using a small typeface with an italic typeset to introduce those. And if you want to stagger these like this, another trick would be to have the motor right here, caption right here. Have this part of the bike over here, caption over here, and then this back over here, caption on the right. That way it's going to make more sense, and the eye is not going to do the zigzag. It's going to be more of a wider column that will allow the eye to move down as opposed to zigzagging like this. Okay, does that make sense? My final recommendation is this. Wow, this is a great choice, by the way. This is a fantastic bike. I've always loved the Bonneville. Always, right down to the way it sounds. It's a gorgeous bike. One of the things I'm seeing, though, in this composition is the weight, the visual weight. I recommend cropping this out. And I'm not real sure how good your Photoshop skills are, but I think if you could crop this whole thing out, remove the entire background, okay, so that we don't see anything through the spokes. And we don't see anything through the backgrounds. It's all on white. It's all cropped. I wouldn't gradate that like that. So you see how that's gradient running to transparent white right there. Keep this at full opacity. You can see the same thing right here. And actually, it probably has to do with the fact that the edges of the image itself are feathered. But I would definitely activate this negative space all right through here. by just cropping this whole image out and just having the bike on a white background. I think it's going to look super sleek. You may even consider doing the same thing to this image. I think that's going to be really super interesting. Okay, so those are my recommendations. Great start. Oh, one final. You've got a widow right here. That's, well, you know what a widow is from this week's lectures. So you don't want that. You don't want a widow. Okay. Really fantastic start. If you have any questions at all, please let me know, and I'll be glad to clarify. Or if you want to make some adjustments and run this by me before your final submission, that's fantastic too. All right. Good job. Thank you.